Previously on Bleach, Ichibei unlocked his true power, which is Ichimonji, which allows him to... Oh god, no. It got ink everywhere. Oh
yeah, I released it way too early.
You know how expensive this thing was?
Sorry, it happens sometimes. I am rather old. How about I make it up to you? What do you want for Christmas?
At the moment, for you to get shot in the chest with an arrow.
Wow, you're a major dick.
So I've been told. Everybody, Elf Tekking here to review Bleach chapter number 608. Oh, I'm sorry, I mean 609. Wait, 608, wait, did we skip a number? Wait, probably nothing. Anyway, chapter begins where we left off, apparently, when we have Yhwach being blotted out by Ichibei Zanpakuto Ichimonji. And if you remember correctly from last chapter, everything that this ink touches basically blots out its actual name. As in the case, like, if my name is Tekking and the ink touches me, then I will literally not be able to recall my own name, because my name no longer exists. And that's Ichibei's whole deal, whereas names hold power. And this actually reminds me of a scene way back in the Soul Society arc that it always sort of bugged me, and now I finally get a reason why. Go to the clip!
At last you are able to fire a shot at will, Ichigo. So I shall tell you. The destructive power of an attack is 1,000 times greater when you know its name than when you do not.
You see, I always had a problem with that scene, because basically in that scene, what Zangetsu is saying is that unless you call out the name of the attack is not as strong. And that always just struck me as weird. I mean, that's like, you know, pulling out a gun and then shooting the bullet and being like, oh, well, I know this gun is a Mach 3 Desert Eagle, so therefore, because I know its name, it's stronger. Ichigo fires the Getsuga Tensho. I'm thinking, what does it matter if he says the name Getsuga Tensho? He's doing the same exact motion, like when he fought Rayjii. It's like, is this anime logic where if you shout out the name loud enough, the attack will become much more bigger depending on how loud and how epic you scream it at your opponents? But now we finally get that. If Ichibei was the one that named everything, of course he would have his designation that's like, if you know the actual name of the technique and you say it, that does increase its power. It makes total sense now. So the maneuver that Ichibei used to cover Yhwach and all that ink was actually so massive it actually covered the entire Vestibule Road and most of the entire Soul Palace. So I could totally see, like, down below when, you know, the Visors are working with Ywach, all of a sudden just starts raining black. And they're like, oh my god, what's happening? But, yeah, that's the case. We get the title page of the chapter Bleach 609 entitled A. Oh, A, that kind of A. Alright. So, in this episode of The Walking Dead, we have Rick and Michonne and Carl arriving at Terminus. Now, if you remember from the last episode, Glenn and his group already arrived, and Daryl's still hanging out with Joe and the Claim Gang. So now we start off with... Ow! Duh! I think I got slapped by all the spoiler comments again. I gotta stop doing that shit. Anyway, though, we now see Yhwach completely coated in ink. The only thing remaining is just a little bit of his feet and one eyeball that hasn't been completely blotted out. Ichibei states that now, since Yhwach no longer has his name, he will now bestow a new one to him, his pitiful self. I will give you a new name! You know what? I have a theory here. I think... You know how I said in the last couple reviews that these chapters are kind of like following the same kind of arc, you know, where Ichibei does something really cool at the end of the chapter, and then the next chapter ends basically the same way, like, you know, Ichibei's like, I'll kill you now, or I release my Zanpakuto, or now I'm gonna kill you for good with blotting you out with ink. You know, he's ending these chapters really cool. I think this is basically like Kubo's wet dream, because not only is Kubo having so much fun with the blotted out blackness, because you know he loves to do that shit. You know, while he's drawing these chapters, chapters, he loves having an excuse to, like, I draw an entire page that's pretty much 98% black, and it's fine because it's part of his power. But he's also having fun because he gets to draw all these really creepy demonic faces that are popping out on Ichibei, because he's like, oh, it's so striking. I'm so artistic. Ask me what it means. Ask me what it means. Oh, God, this is disgusting. I got ink in my nose. I'm freaking tasting it. It's gonna take me forever to get this washed out of my fucking hair. This is honestly the most annoying power I've ever faced. I mean, yeah, I know its power is basically beyond just the physical ink. It's more about how Yhwach's power was in his name, and now that he no longer has his name, he no longer has his power. But at the end of the day, the physical technique is literally just coating yourself in ink, so more annoying than anything else. But yeah, I understand that it has powers beyond that. Anyway, though, Ichibei then activates a new technique from Ichimonji that we don't yet know of, at least when he initially says it. Shinuchi Ichimonji, which refers to as basically the white brush. So Ichimonji was, of course, the black brush. Now we have Shirafude Ichimonji, which is turning it into white. If I was to use recent terminology, I would refer to this as a Bankai. I think that's what the kids are calling it these days. I don't know. I've been out of the times a little bit. Anyway, this is the real basis of the original final form of the Zanpakuto. We used to call them evolved Zanpakutos back then. But then, you know, Game Freak got involved and they said, oh, we're gonna copyright this for this new game we're playing. Something about, I don't know, electric mice running around or some shit. I don't know. It was the 90s. It was centuries ago. Yeah, back in my day, we didn't have any of those Bankais and Shikais and Shunkos. If we wanted to kick a Hollow's ass, we would bend that motherfucker right over our knee and we'd cut ourselves a switch. Yeah, that's how we took care of Hollows back in them days. You know, it's kind of odd that he doesn't really understand the etymology of the word Bankai, considering he's the one that named it. And that's not just conjecture. It was flat out explained by himself when he was talking to Rayjii. I bestowed the names of everything. Zanpakuto, and he specifically mentions Bankai and Shikai as examples, and here he's saying, like, I don't know, what are the kids calling this shit these days? He's like, oh yeah, Bankai, sorry. I mean, maybe he used the original term Shimuchi, like that's what he designed it, like evolved Zanpakuto, and then just over the course of thousands of years, the etymology have eventually changed to Bankai, like they just got simplified. A good way to look at this is Jesus Christ. Yeah, Jesus Christ is not actually the term they used 2,000 years ago. It's changed many times over the centuries. Look it up. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, this is the second release of Ichimonji, or the Bankai, and he states that it gives a new ability to his brush. It enables him to draw on anything that has been blackened out by his Shikai and give it a brand new name. With that being said, he now draws the new name of Yhwach right on his back. Alright, let me think here for a second. Oh, I know. I will bestow you Yhwach with the name of Chimera Ant. Oh god, no, don't you dare, Ichibe! Oh, wait a second, did you just say Chimera Ant? Well, shit, damn, that's pretty badass. Okay, I can deal with that. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got my references mixed up there. No, sorry. Let's go with Black Ant. Oh, that's a little less cool. Hey, don't doubt yourself, Yhwach, King of the Ants. That's a pretty cool title, bro. Oh, I'm just a little ant, and I'm walking through the yard, and oh my god, I just sensed a major disturbance in the force. We have a new Ant King! Oh, this is a glorious day and a new era for everyone! Rally, my ant brothers, and together we will take back the yard from those foolish humans with their Air Jordans! So yeah, that's the new name Yhwach got, Kuru Are, which Black Ant. Now you have to give Ichibei some credit. That's pretty clever. That's pretty awesome that you came up with that name, considering the fact that Yhwach is like honestly the king of the Quincy. He's like, okay, I'll make you the king of the ants compared to my power, you little boy. He states that now that he bestowed that name upon him, his power is basically equivalent to an ant. So Kuru Are responds to this by stating, to go this far. Oh yes, it really is sad that this is as far as it has gone. You know, it's actually quite sad, really, but then again, I don't talk to fucking bugs. It's time to be stomped upon like the meager ants you are! Okay, Ichibei, who else is with me by saying that the paintbrush is cool and everything? It's very symbolic and artistic and everything in more ways than one, but I still think the cooler power Ichibei got is the ability to just, you know, bitch slap and bitch stomp whenever he wants. Okay, I think he should have led with that, you know? Like, I mean, I know he started off the battle by using his hand, you know, pushing Yhwach back, but he kind of just gave up on that for using the paintbrush. You know, I would have still just, you know, like, you know, boom, boom, stomp, kick, crush. you know, do whatever. I'm just saying, it's a much cooler ability. Well, I'm kind of screwed here. Oh wait, on the other hand, ants do have the ability to hold up over 50 times their own weight. Or was that a myth? Is that a thing? I don't know, I have to check Snopes.com if I want to... Oh my god, His Majesty! We have to go help him, Uryu! Ah, hey, don't try to get out of this. We've been sitting in this cage for the past 10 chapters. It's your move, go ahead. Okay, C6, miss. B7. Dang it, you sunk my battleship. Yeah, Hashwell, this is my 7th hit in a row, dude. Are you just lining up all your boats in the B slot? I don't know how to play this game. So, yeah, from what we get from this, Hashwell and Uryu have been basically just chilling out in that cage, even though Yhwach ripped a massive hole in the cage, so there's no reason for them to be staying there anymore. I mean, I know they could be doing anything. They could be going forward to the Soul King. They could be helping in any one of the battles with the Von and Reich and the Shinigami. I mean, the Von and Reich and the Shinigami. But, you know what? Just for the sake of, like, maybe, like, oh, okay, the Zero Squad are fighting each one of the Elite Storm Raiders, so there's no reason for them to get involved. Aren't they getting freaking bored at this point? I mean, aren't they getting kind of bored from just sitting around and watching all this shit going on? I mean, no, it's a typical manga and anime stereotype just for, like, standing still for long periods of time, but damn, I mean, do something! Anyway, though, we cut back to Ichibei, who now appears in front of Kuroare and states that, oh, great king of the insects, I bid you farewell. And with that, he delivers the ultimate clap finisher to Kuroare. After that technique, Kuroare appears to be defeated. He falls from the sky and states, I do not exactly know that I couldn't have seen this far ahead with my eyes in their closed state. Which, of course, means, I mean, if you've been following Bleach at all, you know that statement must mean that... Okay, you know what? It doesn't really matter to know what, like, philosophically what it means. All you need to know is that the opponent that you thought was dead isn't dead, so the rest of this is pretty much autopilot. Like, hold on, I'm not even gonna read the freaking chapter, okay? Let's guess this shit. Step number 1, Ichibei turns away, thinking that his opponent is defeated. Check. Step number 2, a big fuck-off explosion happens and Ichibei is surprised. Check. He turns around and before he could do anything, he gets critically injured. Check. And 4, it turns out the opponent is completely healed. Check. Thus, we close out the chapter with a monologue from Hashwalt stating the true purpose of Yhwach's letter. He states that His Majesty's ability, whatever he sees his opponent do, as long as he sees it from any perspective, he will know everything, and therefore it is impossible for His Majesty to be bested. The letter A, that which signifies His Majesty's power, is in fact the Almighty. That's right, otherwise known as the Hacker Sheet. A hacker sheet? What the hell is that? Oh, hold on a second, I'll activate it for you. Let me see here. Okay, form type equals address. And like, okay, here we go. Oh, crap. Okay, end of the chapter. Big mysteries revealed. So the A is, in fact, the Almighty. Got to figure out what to put up here, actually. So, yeah, omnipresence, essentially. That's what it is. Anything, any power that is demonstrated to the full capacity while in His Majesty's presence, he will be able to understand. It doesn't matter how complicated the attack is. It doesn't matter what kind of attack is. It doesn't matter if the attack itself hinges on weakening Yhwach, like Ichibei's powers focus on removing power from Yhwach. It doesn't matter what the nature of the power it is. If it happens while he's in his presence, Yhwach will be able to completely analyze it, figure it out, and be able to neutralize it. That's what his power is. Also, I just want to bring up that even though Uryu has the same letter as Yhwach does, A, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's the Almighty as well. As we've seen, Yhwach was doing that shit when he was fighting Ichibei, like, I bestow the voice to myself, and I can bestow all these powers, and Yhwach has implied that my power is all. So, I mean, it's not completely unlikely that Yhwach bestowed the A to Uryu, but it was a different power altogether. I don't think they're all the Almighties, or maybe, like, Yhwach will bestow the, when Uryu successes him, he'll become the Almighty, as in Uryu. I don't know about that. Alright then, well, I think this is going to be the climax of the battle. I don't think Ichibei is going to die, but I do think he's going to be critically injured to the point where he can't continue, and then Yhwach is just going to kind of maybe take Uryu and Hashwolf and continue on to the Soul King's palace, while the other Zero Squad members are fighting the Elite Stern Raider, because there's no one else to stop him up there, and then Ichigo's group's going to arrive, and then, you know, maybe Ichigo's going to, like, chase after Bach and Uryu and the others, and, like Orihime and Shad and Gonju and Yoruichi, they all fight against, like, Stern Raiders with the Zero Squad members. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Other than that, we might just cut away from a different scene next chapter. I mean, we've been stuck in the Soul Palace house for the past, 3 or 4 chapters, so we might cut back to something else. Not exactly sure on that. Maybe find out what Uehara's doing, or, something like that with the visor. It's not sure. But yeah, certainly, it's not a huge surprise. We knew Yhwach wasn't going to die here. His power was a little bit more elaborated upon than before. I mean, every time he always talks about his power, it's basically so vague, we have no idea. Like, when he used his power to bestow his, like, when, Ichibei took out half of his arm and he restored it, he's just like, oh, well, I can do it just because I can do it. So, at least we get a little bit more elaboration. He can't necessarily do anything he wants. He has to be able to be aware of the power in some way in order to counter it. Kind of a small weakness, but hey, it's all we got. Ichigo, for instance, he hasn't seen all of Ichigo's new abilities, so basically, if you're going to kill Yhwach, you gotta do it, like, but when he's not aware and at, like, a split second if you're gonna do it. Otherwise, he's gonna figure your shit out and you're gonna be screwed. Like, the more time you fight him, your chances of victory go from, like, an initial 1% to, like, 0.5, 0.3, 0.00004%, So that's just basically how it goes. But anyway, what do you guys think? And what do you think I should put for the A up here? I really have no ideas what I should put. I was thinking about putting maybe like a halo or some shit over this. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe like a heavenly light or something. I'm not sure. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. This will be Tekking101 signing out. And as a fun bonus question for all you guys at home, what would you rename Yhwach if you had Ichibei's power? I'm sure you'll come up with some very clever and nuanced words with this.